Without further delay, we are pleased to introduce your new manager.
Jurgen Klopp is out of Liverpool, and today it is rebuilt Sombrero stepping in to take over this Liverpool side for 10 seasons to see how many trophies we can win if we can establish Liverpool as one of the best clubs, if not the best club in England over those 10 seasons. Little reminder of how the points tally works. You get 5 points for winning the UEFA Champions League, the big one. 3 points for winning the domestic league. In this case, it is, of course, the Premier League with Liverpool. Also 3 points for the Europa League or the Europa Conference League. And finally, 1 point for any cup competitions. Right now, we have Real Madrid at the top of the leaderboard with 70 points. 66 then for both Barcelona and Chelsea in second. Let's see how Liverpool do over those 10 seasons. For starters, we use the tactical vision of gegenpressing for those 10 seasons, of course the classical Liverpool kind of way. I've also hired a couple of coaches in each position, in each department, to of course let those players grow quick. I've then gone ahead and sent Henry Welch, an English scout, to England for 9 months to find us some talents, as I usually do in those takeovers. For the first season, we have 175 million to go in for 3 players, because we'll have 3 players, of course, 3 transfers per season. And that big money will probably be needed, as we have certain positions like Endo, the CDM, who should get replaced. On the other hand, we have a strong offensive department. Diaz, Nunez and Salah, of course. He's already 31 though. We might need to replace him in a couple of seasons. Gravenberch, an absolute talent. Endo, as I said, might look at replacing him. But then McAllister, 24, 84 overall. Van Dijk, the captain of this side, of course. The big man, 89 overall. Also, he himself, just like Salah, they are both on the chopping blocks in a couple of seasons, probably. But until then, we try to get the best out of them. For the first signing of the first season with Liverpool, we signed a player who has been a little bit forgotten, I presume. It's a Portuguese national team player. He went to Saudi Arabia. He's still only 26. 84 overall. It is Ruben Neves joining us from Al Hilal for 42 million plus Wataru Endo. Second, we sign a backup goalkeeper for the future. A man who was great for Georgia at the Euros. He's not going to play a lot in the first season, but certainly down the line he will. Georgi Mamardashvili joining us from Valencia for 40 million plus Kelleher. And finally, a signing I could see Liverpool make in real life. A centre-back, 19 years of age, 78 overall. He might replace Van Dijk in our team in the future. It's Ousmane Diamonde joining us from Sporting for measly 35 million. Of course, the only player getting right away into the side is Neves, 26.84. We have saved him from the Saudi Pro League. Diamonde is a backup to our centre-back duo. He will grow and grow, as well as Mamardashvili. He's 82 overall, still 7 lower rated than Alisson, but he's only 22, whereas Alisson is 30. So, for 3 years maybe he might be number 2, but then if he grows well, then he might just overtake Alisson at some point. Just to complete the transfer window, we have loaned out a lot of players like Kwanzaa, Bacetic, Dans, 2 young boys, Toak to Coventry, and then we've sold players like Thiago, who was on the last year of his contract, to Aston Villa, and then Matip, a big one, has been sold to Spurs. We've now got a new defender, so no need for 31-year-old Matip, he goes to Spurs as well. So let's see what this team can cook in the first season. Season 1's results are out, and it is pain in the Premier League. 1 point behind Spurs of all teams. I mean, I could have taken losing the league to City, to Arsenal even, but not to Spurs. In the FA Cup, even there, Spurs were in the final, but they've bottled it, that's more like it, against Norwich of all teams. We got knocked out in round 4 already, a matchup with Manchester City. How early is that? We don't win the Carabao Cup either, as Man City win that. We've been knocked out in the quarters by Newcastle United here. In the Europa League, we were in Group B, topping that in flying colours ahead of Royal Union Saint-Gilloise. Round of 16, we got through Slavia Praha 5-3. Quarterfinals, we even got through Real Sociedad. Semis, we got past Atletico Madrid. And we have made our first 3 points onto the board as we've defeated Leverkusen in the final. That's what I want to see. I mean, Mohamed Salah is still the absolute god of this team. Up to a 90 overall at 31 years of age. 35 goals. That is crazy. 10 assists. 16 goals for McAllister. 13 even for Darwin Núñez, the Uruguayan. 12 for Diaz. 12 for Gakpo. I mean, those stats look great all around the park. I'm not gonna lie. The team is fantastic as well. I mean, look at this squad. Look at how we are coming together here. After the first season, Neves 85. McAllister 86 already. Szoboszlai 85. This team is really looking nice. 3 points in the first season isn't too bad, I guess, but we could have made it more. Premier League, though, we fell short just about 1 point to Spurs of all teams. To start off the second season, we have sold Vandenberg to Crystal Palace, Tsimikas, the backup left back, to Aston Villa, Nathan Phillips to Leicester City, and then loaned out back Ramsey, Balagizi, Chambers and Baccetic, one of the bright spots for the future here. Our first signing of the second season is for a new left back. He will probably replace Andy Robertson, at least give him like a tough run for his money. And yes guys, it is Alejandro Grimaldo giving us that backup we need. For 90 million he comes in. Second signing we make in this second season is a new cam for especially the future. The South Korean Lee Kang-in joining us for 40 million plus Fabio Carvalho. The third and final signing is a kind of realistic one. Once Mo Salah is not going to be there at Liverpool anymore, I see actually this man coming in. A Japanese winger, right winger of course. He's 23, 83 overall. It is Takefusa Kubo joining us for 69 million. Nice. From Real Sociedad. I mean, the only player who makes it onto the bench even is Alejandro Grimaldo, 28, 86. Lee Kang-in is now on the reserves alongside Elliott here. And Kubo also, 23, 83. We have a lot of options now on those wings and cam position. We take our first point by defeating Real Madrid of all clubs in the UEFA Super Cup, so 1 point in season number 2. I have just found a super talented left winger who is already 70 overall from the youth academy at 17 years of age. Crazy. Season 2 and the second time we just about lose out on the Premier League title. Manchester City on 80 points. Low points total, I have to say. 2 points ahead of us. What is that final in the FA Cup? Leeds against Sheffield Wednesday. Are you kidding me? We made it into round 5 before getting knocked out by Spurs. And even the Carabao Cup we lose against Aston Villa the final. Could we get saved by the Champions League? We top our group ahead of Milan. Same points. Round of 16 we get through Porto. But in the quarterfinals, we fell to the other Portuguese side in Benfica. That was not great. Absolutely not. The team is looking nice, if you ask me. We have Van Dijk now down to an 87. He's 33. Might get replaced next season. But otherwise, this team is really looking nice. And still, Mohamed Salah with the most goals, like in the first season. 21 for him, 18 for Núñez. 16 for Gakpo, 13 for Jota. Our strikers really didn't disappoint. So yeah, only 1 point this season for winning the UEFA Super Cups. Again, second in the league. No Carabao Cup, we lost the final there. We really have to strap ourselves in if we want to get more than the 4 points we have so far. To start off the third season, I go in for a big French centre-back from Barcelona. To replace Virgil van Dijk in a swap deal, Virgil goes to Barcelona. And we get Jules Koundé in return for 60 million plus Van Dijk. Second, just to give us a little bit more depth on the wings, as Salah is going down in overall very quickly now. For some weird reason here he played for Real Sociedad. It is of course Mikel Olise joining us for 87 million. And the third and final signing for an exciting prospect, the man for the future. We usually do that here at Liverpool. Buying at least one 20, 19-year-old, something like that. It is João Neves coming in from Barcelona of all teams for 80 million. He's 20 years of age. Neves and Olise both don't even make it out of the reserves. I mean, they are bloated right now, our reserves. We have to get a lot of players still out of this club. The bench is looking fantastic with Lee Kang-in at 84, Kubo at 86. Jota 87, Núñez 87 in the starting 11. And of course now Koundé in there, 26, 88. That's what I want to see. Replacing, of course. At the end of Season 3, we have finally done it. 81 points, champions of the Premier League. 6 points ahead of Arsenal. 3 points onto the leaderboard. Make that 4, because we have also defeated Aston Villa. We've in fact thumped them in the FA Cup final. No Carabao Cup, however, as West Ham win that. We have been beaten by Manchester United in the quarterfinals. But now that we've won our first Premier League, can we follow that up with a Champions League victory? Triumphing over Madrid in the group stages, 4 points ahead of them. Scraping through Borussia Dortmund, 4-2 on penalties in the round of 16. Quarterfinals, we thumped Atletico Madrid 6-2. But in the semis, we fell to PSG. Again, Salah carrying this team, but now the stats are much more balanced. Nunez and Diaz, just like Salah, on 16 goals. This is a front three if I ever saw one. The team is pushing towards the 90s collectively. Only one player in the 90s in Alisson, who will also go down in, of course, overall. Salah will also go down, so we might just need to replace him with Kubo right away here. After 3 seasons, we are on 8 points. I do believe that we can do a lot better still. Some controversial decisions at the beginning of this transfer window, as we have sold Diogo Jota to Borussia Dortmund for 95.5 million. Same thing applies to Luis Diaz, who goes to Leicester City of all teams, 29.86. He also wanted to leave, so I granted his wish because I don't want any unhappy players in my team. However, this enabled us to go in for an absolute world beater. At the age of 25, he will last the entire rebuild. It's Gabriel Martinelli joining us from Bayern for 120 million. Second, just to give us a little bit of backup to, of course, Darwin Nunez, our typical young, exciting signing, the typical signings Liverpool would make. It's Evan Ferguson. In this save, he has transferred to Cadiz. We had to pay his release clause, that's why it says F negotiations, but I'm still proud of it. 21.81 overall. I mean, that is also absolutely brilliant. Bajcetic comes back from loan with a broken tibia. He's out for a further 3 months still. We've, of course, Ferguson, 21.81. And Martinelli, who we will put in the starting 11. We have a competitive team. Striker's position is fine. With an 81 rated backup, he won't be upset as well if I don't play him that often. What a start for... I mean, the sharpness on those players is absolutely shocking. I forgot to check that at the beginning of the season. But oh well, let's hope that this doesn't come biting us in the backside here against Arsenal. Gabriel Martinelli against his former club. Can we snatch a first point? Yes! I mean, you can see that definitely of course, the sharpness didn't impact us that much. By the way, also found a very interesting right-back talent in the Youth Academy. I finished the Youth Academy off, but that talent is going to get promoted. Our best talent so far. League titles it is. 87 points, 13 ahead of Arsenal in first. Only 3 defeats the whole season. Yet another one in the FA Cup, as we once again win that. This is also back-to-back FA Cups. 5th point in season number 4. However, once again, we don't win the Carabao Cup. We haven't won that once yet. We have been beaten by Spurs in the semi-finals. At least we've come close. Now, can we finally win the Champions League for the first time? Starting off with a very good group stage. 15 points, 3 ahead of Atletico. Round of 16, we scraped past Barcelona. I think that happened already last season on penalties. Quarterfinals, we beat Real Madrid, so back-to-back Barcelona and Madrid, that's promising. But in the semi-finals, we got absolutely spanked by RB Leipzig of all teams. 6-3. 30 goals for Darwin Nunez, up to a 90 overall. What a player, what a striker. Good to trust him. Takefusa Kubo now, I mean, everything speaks for him being the starter now. 17 goals, 15 for Martinelli, our new man. 15 for Gakpo, he's also very good. Both of them, fantastic left wingers. Salah with still 13, but yeah, you can see a little bit of like a downgrade to his previous seasons. The team is looking brilliant, I can't say anything. Slowly but surely, we climb up that takeover leaderboard. 5 points this season. 1 in, of course, the UEFA Super Cup, 1 in the FA Cup, and then 3 for the Premier League. First thing you know, in season number 5, we lose Alejandro Grimaldo because he wanted to leave the club. 59.9 million, his contract was expiring as well. That's when I went in attacking mode, buying one of the world's best left backs. Here he gets greeted by rebuild Sombrero. It is of course Alphonso Davies joining us for 91 million. A big deal here for us. Before doing any other business, let's have a glance at the FA Community Shield against Arsenal. Once again, in the same Wembley Stadium, but this time we lose. We don't get a point. That is a bit shocking. Apart from selling Grimaldo, we have also sold Joe Gomez to West Ham for 55 million. Baccetic to Brighton for 43. Our midfield was just too bloated. That's why also we've loaned out Elliott and Garrett, leaving us with a groundbreaking 662 million for 2 players. Guys, for some reason, Ronald Araujo plays for Aston Villa. 91 rated. That is crazy. A player we sign at centre-back is Odilon Kosunu. 26 years of age. 86 overall. From Atletico in this save. 91 million. And that's everything I wanted to do already done and dusted. I mean, Diomande gets now paired up with Kosunu on the bench here. Actually, Diomande goes to the reserves. Olise is also back from loan. 85 rated. I've seen him be about 88 already, but not in this save as it seems. It had to be done at some point. And we have sold Mohamed Salah to Newcastle United. He's 35, 86 overall. Just going down from here. Thank you for your service, season number 5, and this is wild stuff. Aston Villa dethrone us. We are only in second this time. 75 points as well. Low points total again this season. I don't know what went wrong here. Southampton defeat Leeds to win the FA Cup. What is this? We have been beaten in round 3 by Crystal Palace here. The Carabao Cup, we don't make it to the final either, as Aston Villa lose the final actually to Chelsea. We were knocked out in round 3 again to Colchester. What an absolute embarrassment. In the Champions League at least, we topped our group in flying colours out of Inter. Round 16, we defeated Leverkusen 3-1 on aggregate. Quarterfinals, we even defeated Milan. But in the semis, we just about fell to Barcelona. I mean, that is just absolutely unlucky. A trash season. I don't even know what went wrong here. Nunez with 28, Martinelli with 21. That's, to be honest, maybe the best the stats I've ever looked, but the results are just horrendous. I can't tell what I really need to improve because the players are growing and growing at a good rate. Most of them in their 90s. Some just a few like Szoboszlai Neves. Maybe like Davies and Konate, not in the 90s, but still, this team is fantastic. I don't know what to do. This was a ridiculously poor season. FA Cup 3rd round, Carabao Cup 3rd round. Second in the Premier League wasn't too bad, but then again, fell to Aston Villa. And in the Champions League semis, I mean, no points in season 5. We are still on 13 points after 5 seasons. I'm not even gonna change a single thing here in this team, I think, for season number 6. I mean, I said I would change a lot, but I don't know what. Because this team is still relatively young, apart from players like Robertson. Ruben Neves is also coming on with age, just like Alisson, but they are still so highly rated. I give them one more season, and if they disappoint this season, then I will make 3 changes. Season 6, we are back to winning the Premier League. 6 points ahead of Chelsea. That's what I love to see. 86 points. 3 points onto the leaderboard. Make that 4, because we've also defeated Spurs. Of course we were going to defeat Spurs. I mean, they never win trophies. So 4 points. And once again, same old story as we don't win the Carabao Cup. We have been defeated by Man United in round 3. So how did we go in the Champions League? What is this? We only finished 2nd. 8 points behind Leverkusen. We just about defeated Dortmund 4-3. And in the quarters, we got defeated by Bayern. I mean, that was a poor run. Nunez up to a 93, McAllister 91, Szoboszlai 89, Neves still 89, Koundé up to a 91, Konate up to a 90, Trent 92. This team is fantastic. Even Kubo 91 and Martinelli 91. Evan Ferguson has scored more goals than Nunez even though he played less games. That is crazy in my opinion. 14 for Martinelli, 10 for Lise. I mean, 19 for Ferguson is really good. We're on 17 points in total after collecting 4 points in Season 6. I mean, it's still going about very, very slowly. We have to pick up the pace in Season 7. I always seem to say that at the end of every season. First player we sign in Season number 7 is a new left back, giving, of course, backup to our starting left back. That's why we've signed Valentin Barco from Real Sociedad for 50 million on the dot. In the meantime, I have sold Ruben Neves to Leverkusen for 71.3 million. He also wanted to leave the club, so we need a new CDM. Last but not least, we bring in a CDM in Aurelien Tchouameni. For some reason, he's playing for Barcelona. I don't know what EA is doing sometimes. Of course, he's going to be the replacement for Ruben Neves. 104 million. He cost us. As you can see, I've also reconverted Olise to a right winger, just because I didn't need him in the center of the park, in the central midfield. Bradley has also developed nicely. Right back, 26-86. That's why I didn't need a new right back here, actually. Barco, of course, now on the bench, 25-84. Tchouameni in the starting 11, 29-89. And that's how season number 7 is over, and we haven't won the Premier League this season. I mean, that is not great. 81 points for Manchester City. They are 2 points ahead of us only, but yeah, we are second once again. We don't even win the Community Shield, as we lose that to Chelsea 3-2. And even the FA Cup, we lose the final. We've been the bridesmaid on every occasion so far. I mean, I am gobsmacked. I mean, I've just got to say absolutely nothing here now. Oh my god. This is the most horrendous season you could ever ask for. Third in the Champions League group behind Salzburg and Leverkusen. That is outrageous, atrocious. And we even got spanked by Porto in the preliminary round of the Europa League. 6-3, I mean, yeah. No trophies this season, and we didn't deserve anything here. I don't even want to see the stats. Kubo 23 has been the best player, Nunez with 19, but it's not good enough. Simply put, simply not good enough. It's actually kind of embarrassing that we didn't win a single trophy this season with this kind of a side. I mean, Alisson, granted, he goes down, he gets replaced by Mamardashvili now. But this team is so good. Look at the ratings, look at the sheer quantity and quality in depth in each and every position. This gets to the point now where I'm more than actually just a little bit worried. We are on 17 points after 7 seasons. In the final 3, we need to make a lot of ground up because we are 15 points behind rock bottom and our big rivals Manchester United. I wouldn't have expected myself to go to the free agency list to make the first signing of season number 8. But actually it's a very, very good one. As Alisson is going down in overall, Mamardashvili is still at an 88. We now have the highest rated goalkeeper at the club here, coming in from the free agency list. He's 21, 89 overall. It is the Polish man, Łukasz Pawlowski. He was also in talks with Chelsea, but he went to us, he chose us over them. I mean, we had Virgil van Dijk for so long, now he's retired and his region is out, and you know what that means. We signed Jimmy Martens, a Dutch defender, 18 years of age, 84 overall. And just to finish off the free agency hunt here, the free agency raid in season number 8. Another player whose region is out now. The actual player played for us as well. And the region is going to play for us too. It is Nader Nasser, this Mohamed Salah region, just having a bit of fun at this point, but he also needs to bring something to the table here. Actually, it was great to have brought Pavlovsky in because Alisson left on a free. He didn't want to renew his contract and he was already at about 87. Now we have 2 great goalkeepers again. Pavlovsky is getting the starting spot. I feel a bit sorry for, of course, Mamardashvili, but yeah, he's still the backup goalkeeper. Preston returned from loan, so did Garrett for this season. And then we have, of course, Martin, centre-back, 1884. As well as Nasser, the right winger, the Salah region, 2084 as well. I mean, 2 top talents here for the 3 last seasons. I have just proceeded to loan out both Jimmy Martens to Spurs just to give him some game time because he's going to be like the 5th choice centre-back otherwise. And also Nader Nasser to Bayern Munich. He gets invaluable experience there. I mean, he would have been also like the 5th or 6th choice winger. We have so many. We are back to winning trophies, I'd say, and in style as well. 18 points ahead of Newcastle United. We are on 85 points. I mean, what a Premier League season. +3 onto the leaderboard. Make that 4, because we've also beaten Brighton in the FA Cup final. Once again, the double secured. However, also lost the Carabao Cup final, also to Brighton. I mean, just on penalties, that was unlucky. In the Champions League, we topped our group in flying colours ahead of Atletico, before knocking out Leverkusen 6-2. And then overcoming PSG in the quarters 5-3. But then succumbing to Barcelona 5-4 on penalties. 2 times we've been knocked out on penalties. I mean, I don't know, because Barcelona have already knocked us out before in the Champions League on pens, and we've knocked them out as well. What is this story with Barcelona? Again, the goals, no one in their 20s. That's where I expect my top scorers to be. But Nunez and Kubo come close with 19. 18 for Ferguson, at least very well balanced. A fabulous Liverpool side. I mean, how we didn't win more trophies, especially this season, with only one player in Pawlowski who is under the overall of 19, the starting 11. I will never know, but yeah. I've just realized as well, we haven't won a single Champions League in 8 seasons with this kind of a squad. That is low-key embarrassing. We've had 2 seasons in seasons 5 and season 7 with a complete blank, 0 points. This season, in season 8, we are back to winning trophies. But, I mean, we are only on about 21 points after, of course, 8 seasons. So in the final 2, we at least need to make 12 to overcome Manchester United. Our strategy remains the same though for the 9th season, as we sign a free agent, probably Harry Kane's regen, in Felix Hartley, coming in from the free agency list, as well as going in for yet another free agent, a centre-back, to rejuvenate this squad, especially centre-back. They are really old now, the Konates and the Koundes of this world. With of course Martens, the Van Dijk regen, returning. We have now added another young one with Naël Rémy, joining us, a French centre-back. Very, very potential, much potential. This squad is now absolutely bloated with talent. With, of course, Hartley and Remy, 81 and 82 rated. Preston came back to the side. We have Nasser, the Salah regen, who came back. Martens, as I already alluded to, 1985. I just opted to loan both of these players out. Remy and, of course, Hartley, that we've just bought, to Roma, respectively Arsenal. It is the end of season 9 and we've done it. Back-to-back Premier League titles, 7 points ahead of Manchester City, 3 points onto the leaderboard. Not the 4th though in the Community Shield, as we lose that to Newcastle United 2-1. But then a 4th point gets collected in the FA Cup where we defeat Bournemouth. Make that 5, because we've also beaten Manchester United in the Carabao Cup. I think that's the first Carabao Cup title. Can we finally win our first Champions League? Well, it started off perfectly. 6 wins out of 6 in the group stages. Round of 16, we absolutely destroyed Bodo Glimt of all teams. What are they doing there? I mean, that's an easy draw if I ever saw one. Quarterfinals then, we absolutely destroyed actually Inter 5-2. Semi-finals, we beat Bayern Munich. Can we do it? Yes. 5 points onto the leaderboard, 10 points in season number 9. We have defeated Juventus. We've won a lot this season, but the stats don't really suggest that. I mean, maybe they do. Actually, we don't have a real outstanding goal getter. We have Dominik Szoboszlai, who has scored 24 goals from camp. That is crazy. But Nunez 19, Ferguson 17, Martinelli with 19, Gagbo with 14 goals, 12 assists. I would say that the stats are well-rounded this season. This is the team here after 9 seasons. I mean, Pawlowski up to a 90. We have no player under the overall of 90, as I can see here. 31 points after 9 seasons. 1 point below Manchester United still. We should overtake them, honestly, with that super team. I'm not even going to be making any changes to this team here, because just look at the sheer quality and quantity in depth here. That is amazing. No player in the whole squad is below the overall of 84. That is just outrageous. Absolutely bonkers in a tournament. Once again, we are not the champions. I mean, that's not a good ending to our story here with Liverpool. Manchester City 1 point edging us out to the title. Our first point in the FA Community Shield against, of course, Manchester City. 2-1 win. No FA Cup though, as West Ham win that over Watford. We have been knocked out in round 6 to Watford of all teams. I mean, at home as well. A second point in the final season is though on the cards. We win against Arsenal 3-1 in the Carabao Cup. Only our second Carabao Cup victory. And another point in the UEFA Super Cup, defeating Borussia Dortmund. And in the Champions League, in our final season, we didn't top the group. Leipzig did that. In the round of 16 though, where are we? Here we are. We defeated Villarreal 5-2. Quarterfinals, we defeated Juventus, coming back from behind. Semis, we trashed Napoli 3-0 to face West Ham of all teams. What is that for a final? But we have defeated West Ham. We thumped them in the final 4-1 to make it another 5 points. And why couldn't these stats be like that before? I mean, Darwin Núñez had to wait until he was 33, until the final season to score 28 goals. That is a brilliant ratio. 19 for Ferguson, 16 for Martinelli, 11 for Kubo, 10 for Lise. I mean, those stats are looking great, especially Darvizi. In certain positions like the CM here, McAllister has gone down a bit. And then we have also a player like Chouameni, Konate, Koundé, and Davies, who are all going down, as well as Trent. They are all old now. I mean, just like Darwin. At the end of the takeover, let's have a look at the point system, where Liverpool fare in 7th spot only. I mean, it's a bit of a disappointment, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Liverpool were going to at least challenge for the 3 top spots. But of course, Real Madrid still atop the leaderboard, 70 points, 66 for both Barcelona and Chelsea. Inter in 4th, then we have Napoli, and then Dortmund, and only then comes Liverpool. Only ahead of still Manchester United in bottom spot on 32 points. But lads, if you enjoyed this takeover with of course Liverpool, then please consider dropping a like on the video, and also tell me in the comments what other takeovers with what other teams you'd like to see next. It's been Rebuild Sombrero. I wish you a wonderful rest to your day.